Good morning. My name is Terry Morgan. It is Tuesday, June 30th, 2020. We are here to practice Wudang Taiji. I'm kind of grinning as we start up. My technology is, it's doing some interesting things for me this morning. So I'm hopeful, again, that everything is actually coming across well, and that as I continue with the class this morning, that most everything will still be okay. Let me double check a couple things here. I'm getting that error again. So first it tells me everything's fine, and then it tells me it's not. So I'm going to assume, don't know that that's a good thing to do, but I'm going to assume that everything is okay, that it's just a little buffering, that it's all going to be fine. I'm hesitant to shut everything down and start over because that is just a kind of a pain. So, gonna keep going. Crossing fingers that it's just a little buffering and that it will go away. Again, not sure what's going on with that. I'm hopeful that what's going to happen beginning next week and some of the changes that I'm making will take care of it. So this won't happen again. Alright, Wudang Taiji. Let's do our stretches. Feet about shoulder width apart. And we're going to open to the front, circle, and circle back. Up along center line. And stretch out over the legs, bend the knees. Relax, stay centered. Keep shoulders down. Reach out. And do one more time. And elbows drop down, wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. Alright, so yesterday I spent quite a bit of time on this last part of the form, and I had put it in the context of the entire form. What we practiced was the last segment, so I want to spend some time on each one of those moves today. Not going to put it back in context, I'll do that tomorrow. For today, we're just going to work on this last part of the form with the movements where as we're turning around, and coming back to close the form. So I'm going to start this way so I can face you, go this direction, and then I'm going to turn around, we'll start the other direction, you'll follow me. So I'm here, hand strum the lute, step up, right foot, left foot, sweep around, rush knee, right? Left hand sweeps around the knee, punch, circle 1, 2, and 3. Pull in, step out, circle under, circle out. Pull up, press down. Center, cross hands, close the form. Okay, so as we go through this last segment, pay attention to the idea that you have been traveling in a particular direction. And I know it's confusing on video because I'm turning it around. You've been traveling in a particular direction, and now you're going to turn around and come back the other way. So when I started here, step up, we're going this way. From the other side, I'm going this way. Okay? So if you would, follow me. Let's start with double spreading wing. Here. All the weights on the right. Both hands out to 45 on the right side. You step up. Dragon and tiger join together. Hand strum the lute. Lean forward. Step. Step. Brush knee. Punch. I'm just facing you. Okay? So your stepping is fairly straightforward, right? I'm here. I'm going to step up. Shift, step, step. Not complicated. When you step with the left, weight onto the left, step with the right, open this to 45, and the punch is down to center. Okay? This is a fairly straightforward movement. A lot of systems have something that is similar to this in many ways. The name of the movement, the particulars of the punch, slight differences, but this is one of these really common. Everybody's got a version of step up and punch down. Everybody has something that's similar to this. In Yang style Tai Chi, it shows up in the second part of the form. We have brush knee, no. I'm doing this off the cuff here, so give me a minute. wasn't planning to give that as an example. Either of those is something that comes from Yang style Tai Chi, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it other than this is fairly common, different variations of it, but something that most everybody has. Once we start the next movement, that's not something everybody has. The Lan Han Dai, lazy guy ties up his sleeves. Circle 1, 2, and 3. And again, this is this long drapey sleeve. I might actually put on one of the costumes one of these days and show this with those sleeves. So this one, not so much in other systems, but for the straight punch here, most everybody has something almost similar to this. Almost identical, very similar. Word choice. All right, follow me. We're going to start here. All right, we'll start here. We're going to get ready to turn around. Transfer the weight forward. Step right. Step left. Brush knee. Punch. Right hand up. Left hand up. Turn. Right hand up. Left hand down. So this turn together with the hands, right? As I punch down, turn, this comes back, turn 1, 2, 3, turn, 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 turn. 1, 2, 3. I've exaggerated that so you can see it. It shouldn't be quite that much of a 1, 2, 3, turn this, turn this, turn this, turn this, even though that coordination is required. It's the difference between a music student who's just learning how to play the scale and someone who has practiced the scale for sufficient time to be able to play the scale without looking at either the keys or the notes. There's no sheet music, you don't have to look at the keyboard, you can play the scale. Alright? The second one is what we want. The first one you got to start with. So 1, 2, 3. But it doesn't stay there. And I really want to emphasize that. We have this concept of fluid, continuous motion that is part of all Tai Chi systems. So if you're trying to learn and you use 1, I want to be here, 2, I want to be here, 3, I want to be here, that's great. You can't stay there. You got to be able to play that scale without looking at the keyboard and without having the notes. All right. Hand strum the loop. Step. Brush knee. Turn 1, 2, 3. All right. Shift back. As you pull in, Think of everything pulls in and up, because the next thing you're going to do is to direct the energy down. So we have this concept of yin and yang. I've talked about that, the full and empty. We want to use that opposition as much as we can. And part of what we do in our form is to actually engage that type of motion that's going to give us more energy going into the next move, right? So we're moving, we got kinetic energy going. We want to move that energy so that the next move can be smooth and continuous, right? So we're here, down, up, down, up, down. Okay? This idea of where am I in space? Am I up? Am I down? What's my relative position? Is important for being able to direct the force. It's also important for simply being able to connect the movements, which is one of the very first steps. If I understand that this movement is open, this one is closed, and that every time there's a movement that's open, it's followed by something that's closed, I can kind of start looking at the form without maybe remembering exactly the way to do a particular move, but I know, okay, I just did something that's closed, now I know I have to do something that's open. So it will help to remember, help to create that muscle memory, to know that this is relatively closed here. I'm going to open. Here, open, close, open. Close. Next, open, right? So, as we think about the form, as we're working with these movements in different ways, we can think about what dynamic, what energy goes with this particular move, so that as you do the move, you start to bring that energy to it. You start to bring that focus and that consciousness, awareness, your choice, mindfulness. We have to engage the mind with our exercises. I haven't talked a lot about that, but we do. All right, so mindfulness of what you're doing, where you are in space, how the movement works with the movement before and the movement after. I know, it's a lot, right? Handstrom loop, shift forward, right foot, left foot, open, downward punch. Circle 1, 2, 3, shift back, deflect downward, step up, bung chuan. These last two, I'm going to be going this way. I get turned around too. Right, so I'm here. This hand comes around and down. This hand comes to the elbow. All right. Step up. The hands separate. I'm doing this in slow-mo, okay? So, alright. Hands separate, left hand comes out, right hand comes up underneath. So, there's your right hand move. Left hand. You're traveling, so there's a little bit more going on, but fundamentally it's a very simple move, right? Excuse me. Notice that as I step, I've already got my toes out, so that as I step through, this foot's ready. I'm already in position here. If I step here, I've got to turn, and I don't have time for that in this move. That turn doesn't happen in this, it's not here. Put your foot in the right place. Here. Turn. Step. Step through. Don't step on the cat. Step through again. Okay. From here, circle, both hands circle back to come out. Again, there's a step with it, right? Follow me. Hands from the loop. Shift forward. Right foot. Left foot. Downward punch. Circle 1, 2, 3. Pull in. Out. Up. Step. One more time. From here, notice this comes in and under, right? This comes under and over. And one more time. Facing you, so you can see where my hands are. Pay attention to my hands. Alright? Alright? As we break this down, again, I'm going to pay attention to my feet. Right? The stepping method is fairly simple and straightforward. Same as what we've been using for all of our Tai Chi stepping. It's just a little bit more open. with these last couple of moves, and it should be. The goal is to travel, so it should be a little bit more open. As we finish up, and we'll do this tomorrow, as we finish up the form, one of the, and we're almost, except for closing, we're done, okay? Right? So, excuse me. Right here. Turn. Close. So I'll talk about and spend a little bit more time on the closing tomorrow, but just to let you know, this is it. Right? So as we finish this up, again, one of the things to pay attention to is that the form moves considerably in several sections. It goes long. There are Taiji forms that are designed to be done in much smaller floor space. This one isn't. Sorry, it's not. So several times backing up, turning around, doing some things can be confusing. I appreciate that, and I've been there. So I'm sympathetic. The advantage is that you've got a rewind button. And you can go back and look at this again. As I finish up today and tomorrow with this piece of the form, I want to encourage anybody that's been with me and been studying to continue to join in the morning here, as well as any of the other times that I'm working on scheduling, for additional instruction. And I'm going to break this down into what I think are going to be a little bit more bite-sized chunks, and add in some of the philosophy and some of the background for individual moves, so that there is a little bit more comprehensive discussion, demonstration as best as I can of what is going on with the particular moves. And I'm going to try and extend that so that it's a little bit more like today, where I gave some comparisons between Wudang and Yang styles, so that people who practice something else can also benefit. Appreciate you coming today. Thank you again. Let's just one more time. Let's start here. Step up. Dragon and Tiger. Hands on the loop. Lean forward. Step. Open. Punch. Turn 1, 2, 3. Shift back. Downward. Up, out. Alright, finish up with the closing tomorrow. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.